Hello, friends. Hey, it's Don Woodard again. We have been talking about living above depression, and I have been sharing some thoughts with you from my book that has the same title, Living Above Depression. And as I have shared, you can purchase the book. I have a copy of it here. And of course, I do realize that the title's backwards on here. I'm aware of that. I don't know how to fix that, okay? Anyway, it's available on Amazon. And I know some folks have reached out to me and let me know that they've ordered the book. And I will say again, if you do not have the resources to purchase the book, if you'll contact me by messaging me, I will make sure you get a copy of the book. We're just doing this. I just want to try to be a help. And I also want to say to you that me coming on here and talking about this is not to replace you talking to someone, to a pastor or a biblical counselor. I'm not trying to replace that. If you need to talk to someone, I encourage you to do so. But I just want to try to share some thoughts that I think might be helpful. And again, I said many of you have reached out, communicated with me. I'm very encouraged by that. I greatly appreciate it. So I thought that this time I would just very briefly tell you a little bit about myself. Now, I know many of you know me personally. Many of you that have commented, you know me already. But just to give you a little bit of an idea, I believe I'm a very blessed man. My wife and I have been married 45 years. We have 5 wonderful children. We have 12 grandchildren. We have 11 here and 1 in heaven. And we have been in the ministry for 40 years. I served 19 and a half years as a pastor of a New Testament church. And for over 20 years, I've been involved in revival work. And for 25 years, I have been the director of a ministry in Haiti. We're very excited about that. I love to study. I love to write. And that's part of what I do in ministry. But I also like to tell people I'm not an expert. I don't claim to be an expert in anything. I also tell people I'm not a teacher. I'm a learner. The word disciple, I love the word disciple. The word disciple means student or learner. And so I'm just a student. I'm trying to learn something that I can share with others. And that's all this is I'm trying to share with you some things I've learned. So today I want to talk to you about rising up. Rising up. To live above depression, to deal with your depression victoriously, there are some steps or some actions that you need to take. And myself or no one else can do these things for you. You must take these actions. You must take these steps. And so we're going to take a look at some things that you can do and that you need to be doing if you're struggling with depression. Now, we've been looking at Elijah and his struggle with depression. And you'll recall that in our last lesson, I believe it was, we talked about how that God sent an angel. And I think that was the lesson we talked about. Everything runs together for me. I'm busy. But we talked about how the idea of, do you see the angels? Okay, so Elijah prayed and said, God, take away my life. Well, God said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to send someone to help you. I'm going to send an angel to you. And so we know that that's what happened. The Lord sent an angel, and the angel came and baked some cakes for Elijah, and he ate the cakes, and then he rested for a while. And then in verse 7 of 1 Kings chapter 19, the angel says to Elijah, arise and eat. And in verse 8 it says, and he, Elijah, arose and did eat and drink and went in that strength 40 days. Now, this is what you must do for yourself. You must rise up. Now, I want to stress this before we get too far into the idea of rising up. This part's very important. I want to remind you that at this point, Elijah had already prayed. Prayer is the first thing you need to do. You need to ask God for help. So Elijah's done this, and God has sent some help. God sent the messenger, the angel, to him. So now we come to this part where the angel, God, is telling Elijah through the angel, Elijah, you need to get up now. It's time to rise up. Now, when you rise up, you're going to accomplish several things in rising up. I'm going to give you 3 things you'll accomplish when you rise up. Number 1, standing up, you put yourself in a position to take control. You must take control of you. You must take some control of yourself. You may not be able to control your circumstances, but you can control how you deal with your circumstances. Now, you respond to your circumstances. You must do that. You must take control. So that's the first thought, is the idea that in standing up or rising up, you're taking control of yourself. So that's an accomplishment. The second thing is, rising up, you put yourself in a position to fight. You must fight you must fight against the depression. You must fight to win, all right? And so number 3, in rising up, you begin to be victorious. God created you to be victorious. God created you to be a victor, not a victim, okay? So you must rise up. You must take control of yourself. You may not be able to control your circumstances, but you can control you, and you can control the way you respond to your circumstances. Then secondly, we said, by rising up, you put yourself in a position to fight. And the third thing is, in rising up, you begin to be victorious. That's the first step in being victorious, is to rise up, just to get up. Now, here's the second step for you to take. And we're going to talk about this. We'll have several lessons on this, and we're not going to try to put all of them out there at one time. We're just going to share a few things with you this time, and then tomorrow probably I'll share a few more thoughts with you on actions you need to take. So here's the second action we're talking about today. Take control of at least one area of your life. And I love this thought. This thought helped me so much. I call this the organizing your sock drawer principle, okay? Let me say that again. Organizing your sock drawer principle. In Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3 says, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established." So when you're in this place of depression, which I call depression the dark place, okay? When you're in this place of depression, most of the time you feel like you have no control of anything in your life. When I struggled with depression, the worst times of my depression, I felt like I had lost control of everything in my life. I'd lost control of my emotions, my thoughts, my finances, my whole world. I just felt like there was no control of anything. And so this little thought, the little principle of organizing your sock drawer, helped me tremendously. So the idea in doing that is you're taking control of something in your life. You must control you. You must find something that you can say to yourself, I can accomplish this. I can control this one thing in my life. Now, it's amazing how your activities affect your thoughts. The things that you're doing affect your thoughts. So if you're just laying in bed in a state of depression and you're doing nothing, or you're just sitting on the couch, and like Elijah was sitting under the juniper tree, and I wish I had time to talk to you about the juniper tree, but he was just sitting there doing nothing. And if you just sit or lay in bed and you do absolutely nothing to get control of your situation and get control of yourself, your thoughts are just going to be about your depression. You're going to think about all the bad, and you're going to get more discouraged and more depressed. And there's something about doing something about taking action that will help you establish your thoughts. So choose an area of your life that you can take control of. Choose an area of your life you can organize, all right? Because when you're organizing something, then you're controlling it, and you have to take control of some area of your life just as a starting place. So organize your sock drawer. Maybe organize your desk. I won't even get into that. I'll just say it this way. I basically have 2 offices now, and I am a project person, so I will have my desk gets piled up. And it's just because I'm working on several things at the same time. But sometimes I just have to say, okay, I'm going to just clean all this up and organize this. And I always feel better after I do that. So you might need to organize your desk. You might need to organize your closet. You might, maybe you have a CD collection. You can organize that. Throw things out that you don't, throw out the socks, okay, that you don't wear anymore, that are, maybe they're out of style or they have holes in them or whatever. Throw them out. Organize what you need, okay? But there's some, I promise you, this, I've shared this with people, they say, well, that doesn't, why would I want to do it? Because you got to get control of something in your life. So organize your sock drawer. I promise you'll be accomplishing something, and the accomplishment that you have in doing that will help you, I promise, accomplish that task. It's you taking control of just one area of your life. And then from that one accomplishment, you'll continue with other things that you can work on to have victory over your depression. Now, we're going to be continuing this idea of the actions to take in our next lesson. And so our threefold assignment is this, just as a reminder, this is our threefold assignment from this lesson. Number 1, pray, ask God for help. Number 2, rise up. You have to get up. And then number 3, choose one area in your life that you can take control of. All right? Work on those things. I hope that there's something that we've said, and I think this is our 4th lesson or discussion. I hope that there's something that's been said that has been helpful. Again, if I can be of help to you, just personal, private message me, whatever that is, on social, here on Facebook. I'll do my best to correspond with you. And the book is Living Above Depression. You can get it on Amazon. Just type in my name and then the title of the book, Living Above Depression. And again, if you do not have the resources to purchase the book, reach out to me. I'll make sure you get a copy of the book. All right? Lord bless you. Thank you for your time, and go and be victorious.